Hi and welcome Financial Studies students. This video is one in the series of exam technique videos for those studying on the LIBF Diploma in Financial Studies. This video will give you tips on how to approach the describe question. The describe question appears frequently on both the Unit 3 and Unit 4 written paper. We'll look at an example of a describe question and an answer, and towards the end of the video there'll be a tip. Do check out these videos too. I'll put the link to them in the description box. The describe question. The describe question could appear in both the Unit 3 and Unit 4 exam. They typically start off like this. Describe the impact, describe the different ways, describe why it is necessary, describe how, describe the ways, describe the actions, describe the possible consequences, describe why it is important, describe the benefits and drawbacks. So for a describe type question, it's very important that you give a detailed explanation of the main features of something and how and why something actually happens. The describe question could be found in both the case study and the non-case study section of the written paper. So it's important you know how to approach this type of question. Describe questions could be 5 marks or 10 mark questions, and no conclusion is needed. Just a reminder to like, share and subscribe as I do post regularly. Let's take a look at an example of a sustainability 5 mark question. On to an example of a describe type question, and this is a Unit 3 type question. Describe the actions that financial services providers could take to make a customer more financially sustainable, 5 marks. Now, financially sustainable questions, this type of question comes up a lot on the Unit 3 paper. That is why I've selected it. However, some students don't do that well with it because they don't really describe properly and they don't include the amount of points that they need to. So for this type of question, you need to include at least 2 actions. So at least 2 actions. And they should be described well. In order to ensure that you're describing them well, use connectives such as this means that, because, leads to. That can really help you describe your points well. Now let's look at some possible answers that you might include for this type of question. You can pause the video if you'd like to and just jot down a little plan of what you think financial services providers could recommend, or certain actions that they might take to make a customer more financially sustainable. So you can pause and I will continue to just include some points before we look at an exemplar answer. So you might have stated that financial services providers may recommend that individuals pay into a pension scheme to ensure that they will have an adequate retirement. You might have put that they could advise individuals to think carefully about any borrowing so that they only borrow amounts that they are confident that they will be able to pay back. They may recommend individuals to have an appropriate and convenient savings plan. So at least 2 actions need to be chosen and described well. Let's take a look at a possible answer. Describe the actions that financial services providers could take to make a customer more financially sustainable. Now for this 5 mark answer, I'm going to include additional actions. So you have more actions to add to your list, but I'm going to describe these. Let's take a look. One action is for them to encourage individuals to increase their income. Individuals could be encouraged to increase their income by taking on a second job or by working overtime. They may also encourage individuals to seek a promotion at work, as this would lead to an increase in income. Acting on this support would mean that individuals would have money available to pay their mandatory and essential expenses, such as council tax and rent. This will enable them to become more financially sustainable as they would be able to satisfy their needs and wants and aspirations within a budget. So that was our first paragraph, and as you can see within the first sentence, I've got straight to the point. That's what you need to do, get straight to the point and offer a good description. So use those connectives such as this means that and this leads to help you describe your points. Another action is that providers may recommend that individuals set up a contingency fund in case they have an emergency. This is beneficial as it means that individuals will be able to pay for expenses if unforeseen circumstances arise, such as car repairs or a boiler that has broken down. This can provide individuals with much needed financial support during hard financial times, so they can avoid bad debt and short-term high interest loans, therefore enabling them to maintain a balance with their personal income and expenditure. Now we're going to add a third paragraph. We know for a describe question that we can include 2 or more paragraphs, 2 or more points that we develop and describe well. We're going to add a third because we can add an additional one, but also to show you an example of another way that, or another action that financial services providers can offer support in regards to helping individuals become more financially sustainable. And it's also showing you how you can describe another paragraph as well. Maybe it's a point that you've already included. A final action is offering individuals with a poor credit history the option of a basic bank account. This enables them to have their income paid into their account, set up direct debits, and for them to be able to manage their money effectively. By giving them this option, individuals are also able to set up text or email alerts about their accounts to their phone so they can be aware if they're running low on money or when payments are due, or just a mini statement of their account. This will aid the individuals to become more financially sustainable and make informed financial decisions, such as those on discretionary spending, as they'll be able to view their income and expenditure easily. Now, I will just reiterate, for a 5 marker, 2 or more paragraphs are fine. Just remember to have them well detailed. Use connectors such as because and leads to and this means that to help you describe the features or the actions or the ways, etc. Let's take a look at a tip from the examiner reports. Top tip, you need to ensure your points are developed. I have said this already, but it is in the examiner reports. Sometimes students do not describe well enough. Do not be that. The next 2 videos on the screen are the ones that YouTube thinks you should watch next. Thank you for watching.